Hello everyone, I'm junelovejoy and welcome to my video. Thank you for joining me today. I've actually never done a video like this before, but the underlying topic of this video is one that I've wanted to discuss for a very long time, but I wasn't exactly sure how to best bring it up or how to best discuss it. And actually a little bit under a week ago, something kind of traumatic happened to me, and I felt that I wanted to talk about that event. And by doing so, I could actually bring up this topic that I wanted to discuss and kind of connect both of those and make it more enjoyable or more easy to swallow. Yeah, maybe I'm going to say bad jokes. But yes, okay. So this will also be my first video in English. Typically, I do most of my videos in Japanese because that's where I work, in Japan. But I wanted to use the word fuck a lot. Because I'm actually quite upset, if you can't tell, and I would like to be able to express myself in my native tongue, English, and also most of the stuff that happened in relation to this incident were in English, so I felt it would be best to do this video in English as it'd be easiest to present the information. So let's get right into it. And for those first-time viewers of my channel, my name is junelovejoy and I'm a porn actress in Japan. Nice to meet you, and I hope you can enjoy my video. So about a week ago, or a little bit less than a week ago, some hidden Instagram account contacted me and started threatening me. I didn't respond, of course, but I decided I would go to the police and do some internet sleuthing to figure out more information about this person, ultimately uncovering that it was the lover. This is where it gets kind of hard, even in English. It was the lover of someone that I had met. No, I've never met them. It was the lover of someone that I vaguely knew through the internet before debuting into porn. Whew. And this video may be quite long and I may get a little heated, but if I could have you just kind of consider one question as you're watching this video. What makes someone a bad person? And everyone has a different answer, right? But at least whatever your answer is before watching this video and after, I'd like you to compare it and maybe even leave a comment below. Everyone's answer will be different, entirely okay, but I'd like you to kind of reconsider what society deems a bad person and what actually is a bad person. Okay, I keep saying it, but let's get right into it. Background time. I used to be really active in a video game community online. I won't say what video game, but it doesn't really matter. And there was this woman in the group that was rather active. We weren't friends or anything, but I knew of her and she knew of me. And my role in the group was essentially to translate the information that was coming out of Japan into English so more fans could enjoy it. I didn't make any money off of my translations. I just did it so more fans could enjoy the information, even if they didn't speak Japanese. And this woman was going through a lot of mental health, job, and personal problems, along with divorcing her abusive husband. And she reached out to me for advice, and I was more than happy to help or to listen. And we talked on the phone for literally hours about how much she was suffering and how she was unsure about her future. And I consoled her, and I did feel a little bit closer to her after that. Like, not yet, we weren't quite friends because I've only spoken to her once, and it was that kind of emotional conversation, but I did feel that, yeah, I would like to become closer to her and maybe meet her because she also lives in Japan, but in a different prefecture. So I don't want to say too much private information about her because I'm not a piece of shit. We'll get more into that later. So let's see. So after the call, maybe, I'm not really sure on the time, but it doesn't really matter. So anyways, in regards to the timeline, I guess. So we had the call, I consoled her. She actually, in the group, in the video game community, she was doing like pickups, I guess they're called. So she would buy merch relating to that video game and then resell it or pick it up for people who wanted it. So say for example, well, not this video game, but say for example like Tyranitar, If you wanted this plush, she would buy it for you. Just you give her a little bit of plus money as a fee for her time shipping it out, purchasing for you. So something like that. And she basically used my translations on her store page without crediting me. And yeah, that really bothered me. I know there's only so many ways that you can translate information, but when she literally just copy pasted the thing and then put it on her store. And what's even more frustrating is that on my translation site, I said you could use the translations any way you want. You can use them on your store, doesn't matter. Just please credit my translation page. Please credit me for my translations. And she didn't do that. And so when I called her out on it, she just said, I don't really think she said sorry. She said something like, there's only so many ways to translate something, and yeah, I used it, but even she's not fluent in Japanese. I don't want to harp too much on her, but she said even if I took the translations from somebody else or I did them myself, they wouldn't change that much. Words can only be translated in so many ways, which one is a gross excuse, but whatever. It's a little embarrassing, but I was quite bothered, especially because I felt like we could have become friends, but she stole from me and she just made it out to be like my feelings weren't a big deal. And at that point I was just very tired and didn't want to deal with her, and so I just unfriended her and moved on with my life because I'm an adult and that's the way the world works. I don't know if that's a little bit too cold to say, but anyways, as an adult, I feel like you can choose who you want to become close with, and that especially as you get older, your time is shortened. Death is closer, so you really shouldn't waste time with people that you don't want to get close with, or it doesn't seem beneficial in any way to get close to them. So yeah, I was within my right not to want to be friends with her. Anyways, unfriended, moved on, and shortly after I would delete all of my private social media. I had kind of forgotten all about her at that point. Not in a negative way, it's just we weren't friends, and in the grand scheme of things, her stealing my translations was just a very small thing in my life, so completely forgot about it. And I then joined the Japanese porn industry, and I'm super happy and I'm enjoying myself extremely, but that's not what this video is really about. And also, I would like to point out that the importance of my personal safety has actually nothing to do with whether or not you like porn, or you agree with porn, or you think porn is ethical. Me as a human being, I have rights for personal safety, and that is a huge topic that I would like to touch on. I'm an adult woman choosing to do porn and do not deserve to be threatened in any way or have my safety life threatened in any way. So however, on my new Instagram account, I got some really scary message from a hidden Instagram account. And when I say hidden, I mean I don't know the exact term, like a private account where you can't view their information or their photos or who they're following or who follows them. And the message said something like, they're from an organization, they're going to get me if I don't watch my back, they're watching me, and I should be careful, and I've been warned. And right now I'm saying it kind of like in a sarcastic manner, but when I first read the message, yes, I was fucking terrified, okay? Obviously, if you get a message like that, if you get a message that says fuck you, I hate you, I do get some messages people like you don't deserve respect, which, okay, fine, that is okay, and not okay, but I don't deserve respect because I do my job, because I do porn, fine. But saying that I need to watch my back and people are going to come and get me because I do my job, that's illegal and fucked up. I don't know if that makes a little sense. You should respect all humans because, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm an adult woman choosing to do this job. But to threaten me and to say that I need to watch my back and that people are going to come after me, that's just a new low. Really new low. Okay? And yeah, like I said, I was terrified. And the account was private and I couldn't see any more information, but this, due to how severe and terroristic the message was, I decided that I would go to the police immediately, but I needed more information. So even if I went to the police, and just like somebody on Instagram is sending me a threatening message. Even if they wanted to help, there's not much they could do. So I wanted to get as much information as possible before going to the police. And so I actually, I don't want to like brag, but I'm actually quite good with the internet. And I started some internet sleuthing on this private account. And just as a quick note, I don't know if everyone knows this, but just because you think your information is private, it's not, which is why I really do think we should respect people's privacy, unless you're an asshole sending people threatening messages on the internet. Yes. Okay. So I went around and found this guy's social media presence, and he actually, funny story, he would comment a lot on social media accounts that had like OnlyFans or like promoting their OnlyFans. I'm sure most people at this time know what OnlyFans is, but essentially it's people making their own erotic content and selling it. Totally fine. More power to you. Think it's awesome. I don't have one, but you know. So he would comment like sexy or like the fire emoji or some horny emoji on these girls, essentially erotic cosplayers. And yeah, I'm not hating on him for consuming that kind of media. I just think it's funny that most people in some way or some form consume erotic media, right? So even if you don't like straight up porn, even I don't like straight up porn as much as I like other forms of erotic media. Like there's erotic fiction, right? A lot of people like that. There's erotic comics. There's like the 3D animated erotic content. Lately I've been kind of getting into it, like, I don't know what it's called, like audio, not ASMR, but like you like pretend, God, I feel like it's gonna get really dirty. But anyways, like erotic audio. I was about to say one of my new fetishes. Anyways, it's not that kind of video. But my point is that there's a lot of erotic content, and even if you don't consume this kind of erotic content, you still consume other kinds, right? Like most people enjoy some sort of erotic content. Even if you don't, no problem, doesn't matter. Not the point of the video. But my point is that this asshole was consuming pornographic stuff, but me as an adult woman, I'm not allowed to make it. Or if I make it, I'm somehow less than him, and he can threaten me and say that people are gonna come after me and that he's gonna get me and I need to watch my back and I'm being watched. Like, that's so fucked up. Like, why? What is the reasoning or the logical? I don't understand. How can you? I'm like laughing now. I was actually really upset, but yeah, it's just really fun. I don't understand how people can consume that media or their favorite kind of that erotic, because it's all just graphic and erotic. They can consume that kind of media, but as soon as you want to start making it or making some sort of erotic content, bad, you're dirty, you're a bad girl. Oh no, this is supposed to be a serious video. Okay, but it's fine. People deal with stress in different ways. So yeah, he was commenting on like OnlyFans models, and he would favorite like a huge amount of graphic and lewd art on DeviantArt, and just a lot of other stuff that I found. Again, not shaming him for consuming that media, more power to him, but you have to remember that if you can consume it, then people can make it. So we're fuck you, dude. So I actually found the account was quite active with a small Japanese artist page, and that I went through the comments of that artist page as well as the followers and the people that they followed, and a familiar username kept popping up, and it was actually the girl from the video game community that I was participating in, the one that I had the long phone call with. And I thought, oh, at this point I completely forgot that she stole my translations. I just thought that we stopped talking because I deleted my social media. But I was like, oh, this is great. She can help me get more information on this guy. I kind of hate bothering her, but if she can help me get more information to go to the police, that's great. And also as a note, at this point, I was actually quite worried about her because a lot of people don't realize the kind of fucked up or scary people that follow you on social media. So I wanted to message her not only to get information for myself, but also to warn her, like, hey, this creepy, fucked up asshole is following you, and also your friend's account. So, and yeah, I just thought I would read those messages that I sent. Let's see if I have them on. They're actually on my phone, and I'm filming with my phone right now, so I might be shit out of luck. Let's see if I can log on. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so I logged in, and so this is the message that I sent the girl. When I say girl, I mean woman, but whatever. Anyways, I said, hello, her name. Let's call her, Hello, I'm super sorry to bother you, and I haven't told anyone else, but I'm being stalked, harassed by someone who follows you and has connections to your account. I have some information on them that I'm taking to the cops soon, but I thought it was so weird that they both follow you, and a lot of the accounts that they follow you as well. Do you happen to know this person by any chance? And then I put the stalker's username. And I said, they have a Pokemon Go account with a similar name. Again, I'm so sorry to bother you out of the blue with this. It's just they've sent me very threatening messages, and while my next step is the police, I was hoping you might have some information. Best regards, and I hope you're staying safe during the pandemic. So, cool, right? No big deal. But within 10 minutes of me sending that message, the stalker account, I don't know if they blocked me or they deleted the message, I'm not sure, but the message didn't come up anymore. I could still see their account, so I don't think the correct term is they blocked me. I don't know, they just deleted the message, it didn't show up anymore. And I realized at this point that she must have said something to the account person, which at this point I don't know that they're linked in any way, like close, but I felt really upset because she's essentially jeopardizing my safety by letting the stalker know that I'm onto them. And it's just not something you do in these sort of situations, because I should just tread lightly. So fucked up. I feel like I live on a different planet than a lot of other people. I just don't understand. Like, is it a weird concept? So someone is harassing or threatening someone, and the victim, I hate using that word about myself, but the victim asks for help, and then the person they ask for help goes to the terroristic person and says, hey, she's asking about you, maybe something's up? No, you help the victim first, and then like, what? Anyways, so obviously at this point I realized that she must have some sort of stake in this person for not helping me but contacting them first. And what's really weird is that when I sent the first message, she read it within like 3 to 5 minutes. It was unread. So I thought that was also kind of suspicious. Not too much, like she could just be online, but I just thought it was weird how fast she read my messages. So after the stalker's message clears itself, and I realized that she must have contacted them, I sent her another message. She hasn't responded to me yet at this time. So I said, So after I contacted you, they immediately blocked me. They had been harassing me, and I never responded or interacted or told anyone else about it besides you. I guess you contacted them? Anyways, I'm still contacting the police. I don't know what you told them, but please know that the nature of their message was terroristic, and I will go to the police. I know the last time we talked was that long phone call we had where we talked about your struggles and hard times, and I truly considered you my friend. Sorry for bothering you with this. I just thought I could confide with you as you did with me. And I'm not trying to be like emotionally manipulative. At this, like, I know I'm angry now, but at this time I was being sincere. Because yeah, I really did think that she would help me. And also, if you look at my message, I completely forgot that she stole my translations and that we had some sort of like bad blood, I guess, like a Taylor Swift song. And she immediately responds, what did he send to you? I'm going to try to figure out what's going on. And I was like, oh, she knows who he is. And I said, who is he? And she fucking says, I don't know what's being said between you guys. Can you please let me know what's going on? I haven't heard from you in a year. I don't like playing middleman in a dispute when I don't know what's going on. So again, it's kind of cements that whole, oh, she must really have a lot of stake. This isn't just some like internet friend to her. This is someone that's really close, because she's not helping me at all. She's not giving me any information about this guy. And yeah, I just think it's really fucked up. So I say, I didn't want to contact you out of the blue for some random stalker either. He contacted me saying a bunch of threatening stuff, that if I keep doing my new job or enjoying Pokemon, a certain group of people will attack me and are watching me. And he suggested I quit my job or else I'll get hurt. He said, I'm warning you and that I should be careful. She doesn't respond, but I just say, how do you know him? I'm not interested in bothering you. I'm interested in reporting him to the police. If this was switched and some asshole was threatening you, I would immediately give you all the information, especially as woman to woman. As a woman to woman, sorry, I made a mistake. It's not a joke and it's not funny at all, and I was just as shocked as you to see most of the accounts he follows interacts with you. And again, she doesn't help at all. She just says, is there some way to call? And I wasn't born fucking yesterday, so I set up the phone to be recorded, and the phone call to be recorded, and I say, yeah, 1 second please, what apps work for you best? And she says, I normally use Facebook, and I said, I appreciate your time. And again, I wasn't born fucking yesterday, so I set up the phone call to record, and the entire phone call was over 40 minutes long, and it just consisted, in the first half of it, she said like she can't have the police at her home. I don't need this anymore. And how she kept using a really choice word. She kept saying, I'm not guilty, which I'm sorry. I thought the word choice was really weird, like I was playing Phoenix Wright or something. Like, most people don't say I'm not guilty. They don't use that word when they're trying to show that they're not guilty. It's kind of like overly formal. So you would typically say like, I don't know anything about this, I don't have anything to do with it. But she just literally kept saying, I'm not guilty. And it really freaked me out. Or not freaked me out, but just kind of, I thought it was weird. And she said things like, she'll have to leave Japan if the police are involved, and she's begging me to not go to the police. And again, at this point, she's not giving me any information about the guy. And she hasn't said like, oh, this must be really scary for you. Oh my gosh. Even if she thought like the guy wasn't going to do anything, like, I don't know, as like a human, you would say something, you would like recognize the other person's feelings. Like, oh, that's really scary that this is going on for you. I'm really sorry that you have to go through this, and yeah, I'm here to listen. Like, I mean, I listened for her when she was talking about her abusive husband and their divorce, but she can't give me the fucking time of day, so whatever. Oh, I'm showing a new side of myself. This is not good. So, she's like crying at this point, and she's saying like, I should have never unfriended her, and that I made her constantly cry for over a year because she missed me so much. And to be quite honest, again, this is not a very nice thing to say, but I'm not only scared of the stalker at this point, I'm also really scared of her. And she sounds really like unstable, unable to empathize, like so focused on herself and obsessive. Like, but as a human, I felt bad that I made her cry for that long, even if I didn't understand why she would feel that emotional about me. I apologized, and I said that I was sorry that I made her feel that way, and it wasn't my intentions, and I was sorry. But at this point in time, I really needed her help getting information on this guy because he was very scary to me, and I needed to go to the police. And I expressed that any help or any information she could give would help me immensely. And then in the background, some deep, dark Japanese male voice starts talking, and I realized that he had been there the entire time and that I was probably on fucking speakerphone. Thank God I filmed or I recorded the conversation and I'm not a fucking idiot. So he starts going on a crazy tangent. Like, he also sounds really, really unstable, and he says things like, these kinds of foreigners need to leave Japan. I've got connections to the Yakuza and I can take care of her. And just other really scary shit, and just unacceptable to say to anyone, to be that threatening. I don't understand. But I stay silent, less out of fear, because at this point I'm more so disappointed, and also because the only time that we had ever spoken previously on the phone, she had discussed with me or confided in me in great detail about her previous abusive Japanese ex-husband, and how she was so glad that she finally escaped him. And I felt really proud of her, because I know that that's what kind of situation, like domestic violence, is really, really hard to get out of. It's hard to be in, but to get out of, I thought, like, wow, you're so fucking brave. But now she's with human garbage numero dos, and I'm like, oh, fucking great. Like, so I ignored him, and I can hear the girl in the background begging him to stop. She's like sobbing at this point. She's just begging him, and he says some really choice words. He says, this is the bitch you've been crying over for over a year, and even if I don't do anything to her, someday somebody will. What the fuck? How is that okay? I know that I do porn, and I know that porn isn't generally positively viewed, but what the fuck? That's literally all. Like, I haven't even met this girl, and I live a pretty simple life. I'm quite nerdy. I mostly just play with my fucking cats and cook. I'm actually quite boring, but I've never done anything violent or anything horrible to any other person, and I've sure as hell never threatened anyone. But no, because I do porn, I'm somehow an okay target for this guy to say those kinds of things. And yeah, okay. But I ask the girl, how is any of this okay? And she just keeps crying and begging me not to go to the police, and how her life will be over and she'll have to leave Japan. And again, she never apologizes. I have the entire phone call recorded. She never apologizes, never stands up for me, and just allows this human piece of garbage to just walk over me and threaten me over and over on the phone call. And yeah, why am I so fucking bad when I've never sent a threatening message or threatened someone's personal safety or doxed anyone? I don't condone any of it at all. I do porn acting as a job. And I'm 24 years old. I'm a consenting adult. Why is that just what the fuck? So yeah. So here's my thesis statement. Just because I do porn doesn't mean, or any, not just, this isn't about me, just because someone makes erotic content, not even the girls with, or the people with OnlyFans. I'm talking erotic fan fiction, erotic comics, any sort of adult themed material. If someone creates that kind of content, that doesn't make them any less than anyone else, right? And it doesn't give anyone the right to threaten them. Like, what the fuck? And the girl kept saying how she wanted to protect herself and didn't want to have the police involved and how it would be trouble for her. And yeah, never cared about my personal safety or how this would be terrifying to me. And oh, fun time. I'm gonna put on my fucking Sherlock cap. Let's get going. So I asked her how her boyfriend or lover or husband, whatever, he's a piece of shit, I don't care. So I asked her how he got the brilliant idea of messaging me, and she immediately says, I don't know, I'm not guilty. And she just keeps saying that, whatever. But eventually she calms down a little bit and she explains that this piece of garbage was watching toy videos on YouTube, and he happens to find my Village Vanguard Pokemon video where like I show off some little key holders that I purchased, and he turns to her and says, hey, isn't that your old friend? And they find my porn stuff, are disgusted, and then the boyfriend goes behind her back and sends me the threatening message. Okay, that's complete bullshit. I don't need to wear a fucking Sherlock cap to tell you that. Because before I debuted into porn, this is 100% true. Listen up, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I'm getting flustered. So, before I went into porn, I told everyone. I told my parents, I told old classmates, I told close friends, I told not so close friends, I told internet friends that I was going into it. Why? Because I know that there's crazy assholes out there who will try to use that against me. I've already told everyone. And of course there's people who don't agree with my job, because not everyone likes porn and not everyone understands it and not everyone has to understand it. I'm not asking you to understand it. I'm just asking you to view me as a human, okay? Like, I don't... People do things all the time that other people don't agree with. It's not an issue. You can disagree with things and still treat someone as a human. There's no problem there. So, yeah. So I told everyone that I was going into it. So members of that video game community who were close to me, or at least on my friends list at that time, knew. And I didn't mention this before, but this girl, when I unfriended her, actually started harassing my two really close friends who were in that group. Maybe other people too, I'm not entirely sure, but asking like where I was, what I was doing, why did I unfriend her, just really kind of crazy, because she would message them not once, but like over and over again over a long period of time. And of course it made them uncomfortable and it embarrassed me, but I was like, just ignore it, like I don't even want to be friends with her, it's not that big of a deal, she'll stop. She didn't really. So anyways, yeah, I was quite upfront and honest with everyone, including my family, because I wanted them to, I don't know, like respect my personal safety, even if they didn't agree with my job. Like, this is what I would be doing. So if you saw me doing it, maybe not say like a lot of my private information, because that could put me at risk. And everyone understood that. Even if they don't agree with the porn stuff, they still understood that personal safety is a big deal. And this girl was also still my friend on Pokemon Go. And on Pokemon Go, it has my name, JuneLoveJoy. So it's like, how can you act like I'm fucking dumb? Like, yeah. And she still followed all of my translation game accounts. She didn't randomly find out like that. Like, and then the biggest red flag for me is that her boyfriend or whatever watches my videos and then says, oh, isn't that your old friend? He's never fucking seen me. I've never interacted with her. Like, they would have had to have gotten together after I had already deleted my accounts. And she obviously has been obsessing over me, so maybe she still has some of my photos, I guess, because that's the only way that the story makes somewhat sense. But he's never met me. And the photos from my account would have been from a year ago. And I was, admittedly, I'm still chubby, but I would be more chubby and do look different. My hair color is a little bit darker. I mean, it was a year ago, so I've aged. I'm no longer 23, so it's just some huge piece of shit story. And I would just like to say that, sorry, this video is probably really long, I really apologize, but it's okay if you don't like porn, and it's okay if you don't like the people who make porn. And she said that it really shocked her and really freaked her out that I was doing this, and I completely validated her. I said, that's okay. You don't have to like what I'm doing. One, it has nothing to do with you. Me doing this job does not affect you in any way. We're not even close. We're not friends. I didn't say that because that would be mean, but I'm getting kind of heated. I almost wish that she would have just said, instead of sending me this threatening message and then giving me the runaround with this bullshit story, that she would have just said, yeah, I think what you do is fucking gross and I don't respect you. And then I would have been like, oh, well, okay. Instead, I had to put on this fucking Sherlock cap and then go play internet sleuth and figure out who's sending me threatening messages. Like, just be honest. If you don't like porn, it's fine. No, most people don't like porn. It's geared at a very specific group of people. And quite often, more than not, very male-centered. So I wouldn't expect like a woman to enjoy the content that I'm making, because most of the time it's made for men. It's not made for her. So the fuck? Okay. And so yeah, get out of here with that bullshit, seriously. Well, it wasn't her business, it isn't her business, and yeah, I'm not asking her to agree with my career choices. I'm just asking her not to let her abusive boyfriend send me threatening messages. Finish. So we weren't friends, and not because we hadn't met. I have a lot of online friends, and even 2 best friends from the same video game community that we were all part of. And it just really blows my mind how obsessive she was, because I didn't even consider her a friend even before she stole my work. We weren't close in any way. I didn't even have her line, which is a big fucking deal. Like the 2 other friends that I mentioned, I had them make line accounts so we could all talk in a group chat. I didn't even have this girl's line account. That's a big deal in Japan. We did not talk. And after she stole my translations, I just wasn't interested in pursuing anything else. But apparently she cries every night because I unfriended her, and that somehow justifies her abusive boyfriend sending me those shitty messages. Like, that's so scary. Is it just me? Like, that's really terrifying to me. What the fuck? So I compiled all the screenshots, audio files, and evidence, and I wrote up a Japanese and English report, and I sent her a message that if she or her human piece of garbage ever contacts me again, then I'll go directly to the police, no questions asked. And then I told the 2 friends from the internet or the video game group, I told them about the entire thing, and that if she messages them about me to tell me immediately, because I would just go to the police. I'm not fucking around anymore. And yeah. And what really bothers me is that listening to the audio file, again, she never apologizes or never empathizes with me. I don't think she's able to. She just constantly says how her life is ruined and she's not guilty. And she just keeps repeating that over and over again. And yeah, listening to the phone call, it gives me the impression that she and her boyfriend thought that they wouldn't get caught threatening me. And if the police were to look into it, they would find that she had a lot more to do with it than she cares to admit. Because I don't understand. Why would her husband or whatever be, like, I don't know, him threatening me and then getting confronted by the police would end up with her having to leave Japan? Like, there's some pieces that, I mean, I don't really care that much, but it just brings up like a very suspicious situation. Like, but not my business, whatever. I'm going to sleep tonight and not care. So yeah, I won't go to the police at this point, but I do think that with this guy's like violent nature, that if he were to like break up, or they were to like not be dating anymore, or there was some dip in the relationship, that I would be at risk again, because it seemed like she, not super effectively, but essentially was in some way reeling him back. He seems to hate women a lot, so I feel like I'm still in danger, and I hope their fucked up relationship goes super well, because I don't want to be harassed anymore. So yeah, I know I was quite sarcastic in this video and like laughed and was kind of like exasperated, but I really do have a lot of trouble understanding like certain people's motives or actions. Sometimes I don't understand a lot of the times, like, for example, like I said, you don't have to like porn, but like people will say like, oh, porn is degrading, like those poor women, and then like harass and threaten those women. Like, I don't understand. Like, the people who make the erotic content are still human, and for the most part actually pretty normal people who just like to fuck, or Actually, most of the people I've met in the industry don't even like to fuck. They're just film actors or cameramen or the people who do the lighting. Like, it's just work. It's another form of work. And I mean, there's a market, there's people who like to consume it. I like to consume erotic content, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just, I don't know, like, when people think it's okay to threaten and target women or anybody who they think is less than them, I just don't really fucking get it. And I'm not trying to like virtue signal or be on a high horse. I legitimately don't understand, and I don't know, maybe if someone is watching this video and you are threatening someone, or you maybe your behavior recently hasn't been too kind, and maybe just kind of reflect and think about your actions. I kind of sound like a mom, I'm sorry, but it's just really unnecessary. I mean, this girl obviously had some sort of like mental problems. She's in an abusive relationship again, and maybe, I don't want to play like armchair psychologist, but maybe the phone call with me when I was cheering her on for leaving her abusive relationship, maybe when she got into another one, it really, I don't know, the phone call, maybe she remembered it or something, and that's why she was so emotional and would cry a lot over me. Because again, we weren't really friends. I don't say that in like a mean way, I just don't really understand it. But I wish the best for her, and I'm going to say this kind of angrily, but maybe they're watching this video, and if either of the two of you shitheads ever contact me again, I will go to the police, so don't fuck with me, okay? And yeah, and then besides those two, I did ask you to consider a question. So what makes a person bad, or what makes a bad person? And yeah, maybe you could leave a comment for me after reflecting, and just let me know. I personally think the qualities of a bad person were shown quite readily with the behavior of those two, the boyfriend, the guy, and the girl. That behavior is unacceptable. But I wish you the best, and I thank you for watching this video. And of course, my other videos will be much more chipper, but I did want to express myself because this event was quite traumatic for me, and I just wanted to talk about it. So thank you for listening, and yeah, have a great day. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.